YouTube channel. As per your request, I am back with another video on mentoring my Africa. So we'll be discussing Act 2, Scene 1, whereby Tami joins the school boycott. Without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. But don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your fellow classmates. Alright? Okay. Tami joins the school boycott, right? In this scene, Isabel and Tami were preparing for the literature quiz, but Tami was not paying attention at all. Isabel realizes that and she snaps and asks Tami if she should continue wasting her breath. She then asks what is bothering him. Tami says that he is pulling out of the competition. The literature quiz competition, he is pulling out because he has to join the school boycott the following day. Isabel then asks how long will the boycott take, but Tami doesn't have an exact response or answer for the period of the boycott. He only says that the boycott will stop once the authorities scrap out Bantu education, the inferior education that makes them oppressed. So that was the reason for Tami to join the school boycott, because he was tired of the inferior education, the Bantu education. Okay? And then Tami had to end his relationship or his friendship with Isabel because the comrades won't approve. So the comrades don't want any mixing with the white people, because if you are seen mixing with the white people, you would be seen as someone who is unreliable. And if Tami was to proceed with the competition as well as practicing and preparing for the literature quiz, he would be seen as mixing with the white people. With that being said, that is the reason why Tami had to end his friendship with Isabel, because the comrades don't want them to mix with white people. Mr. M walks in while Tami and Isabel were having an argument, and Mr. M overhears their conversation, and he proceeded to ask Tami questions which led to an argument between them. Tami undermines Mr. M's teaching, that Mr. M teaches them to whisper, and there are men out there, being the comrades, who teaches them to shout. Mr. M asserts that, or he says that, if the struggle needs weapons, give it words. That's what Mr. M says. If the struggle needs weapons, give it words. Stones and petrol bombs can't get inside the armored cars. So the armored cars are the military vehicles. You see the military vehicles, I don't think a stone can get through that car, or petrol bombs can get through that car because of the hard metal. So Mr. M says that use words instead of using stones, because words can get inside those armored cars, but stones and petrol bombs can't. Alright? Mr. M advises Tami to use words and talk to the other learners who have joined the school boycott. Talk to others and bring them back to class. That's what Mr. M says to Tami. Tami refuses because he will be labeled as a traitor. Tami refuses to talk to the others to come back to school because he will be labeled as a traitor, because not so long ago they were having a meeting with a comrade, right? And they were agreeing on one thing, that the boycott is starting the following day. And then if Tami goes back to them and says, let's go back to school, guys, they will see him as what? As a traitor. That is why Tami refuses to talk to others, right? Mr. M threatens Tami by pointing out that the department has requested Mr. M to make a list of names for the students who will take part or who will be taking part in the boycott. And then Mr. M proceeds to say that Tami will grow up to be a stupid man, since he refused to talk to others so that they can come back to school. Mr. M snaps and says Tami is a silly boy and he will grow up to be a stupid man. Tami then snaps and tells Mr. M that other comrades in the meeting called Mr. M as a sellout, someone who would do anything for the white government to keep his job. And Tami is the only person who defended Mr. M in the meeting. So Tami asks that did your spies tell you that I'm the one who defended you when the rest of the people were calling you an informer or a sellout, someone who would do anything to keep his job, or who would do anything for the white government to keep his job, right? And Tami says that Mr. M should start with his name when he writes the lists for the department. So Tami snaps and says, add my name. Start with my name when you write the list of the learners or the students who will be boycotting to the department. So that is how Tami joins the boycott in this act at 2 scene 1. He first has an argument with Isabel, and also notifies Isabel that they cannot continue with their friendship. And then Mr. M walks in when Isabel was questioning Tami that, is that what your freedom is all about? Other people dictating or other people telling you which people you should be friends with, which people you should hang out with, and which people you should not. So Mr. M walks in on them when they were still having that conversation, and then he proceeds to ask Tami some of the questions, because Mr. M was against the boycott, right? Because he believed in education. So yeah, let's proceed to look at the comments on Act 2 Scene 1. Remember I said it's important also to look at the comments so that you know what the entire scene was about. So this scene is fraught with tension. Yes, if you were reading this scene, if you've read this scene, you would see that there was tension between Isabel and Tami, and there was also tension between Tami and Mr. M. It is important to understand both Tami and Mr. M's points of view at this point in the play. Yes. It is only when you as an audience has sympathy for both teacher and student that the play becomes emotional, or it evokes feelings, because maybe some of you are feeling bad for Mr. M, or some are feeling bad for Tami, right? So the different points of view between Tami and Mr. M is that Tami says that Mr. M, you teach an inferior Bantu education syllabi. You teach us inferior education, because obviously Bantu education was the type of education for the inferior, the black people, right? And then Mr. M says, I saw it as my deepest obligation to sabotage Bantu education by liberating your minds. In spite of what Bantu education was trying to do, you are irrefutable proof of my success. Alright? And then Tami says, yours, that's another point of view of Tami's. Yours were the lessons in whispering. There are men who are teaching us to shout. The men out there, the comrades, are teaching them to shout and fight, but Mr. M only taught them to whisper, according to Tami. Mr. M then says, you must thank me for your wonderful eloquence. Eloquence means speak so well. Tami speaks so well. They also said that he spoke so well in the meeting. So Mr. M says that you, in the meeting with the comrades, so Mr. M says that you must thank me for your wonderful eloquence, because I have liberated you with this education, or with my lessons, which you refer as whispering now. Okay, Mr. M says you must thank me for your wonderful eloquence, which you used to address the comrades at the meeting last night. Another point of view from Tami's side is that the struggle does not need the big words you taught me to spell. The struggle does not need the big English words. You taught me to spell. That's Tami to Mr. M. And then Mr. M says that don't scorn words. If the struggle needs weapons, give it words, Tami. Stones and the petrol bombs can't get inside those armored cars, but words can. They can do something more devastating than that. They can get inside the heads of those inside those armored cars. That's Mr. M's advice to Tami, that stones can't get to the military cars because they are made of what? Steel. Stones can't get inside, but words can. So instead of fighting and using stones, use words. Words can get inside the heads of those inside those armored cars. So that's how this scene ends. X2 scene 1, whereby Tami joins the school boycott. I hope this was very clear, and I hope it was also helpful. And then if you have some more questions, please just comment down below, and then I'll get back to you. I'll be back with another video. I promise to upload all the explanations of each scene before you write your English preliminary exams. Yeah, that's it for now. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your fellow classmates. Yeah, take care. I'll be back with another video soon enough. Thank you.